You ever think your morning coffee's going to come with a side of felony fraud? Because that's what happened the day I found a letter in my mailbox that pretty much declared open war on everything I'd worked for. It started on a Tuesday. Sun not even above the treetops, dew still slick on the porch rail, and I'm sipping black coffee out back watching a couple of deer nose through the peach orchard. That's when I see an envelope certified heavy paper gold seal High Ridge Valley HOA. My gut told me to just burn the damn thing, but curiosity always wins. See, I'm Cole Bennett, former real estate attorney, now a land consultant and proud owner of 40 stubborn acres in Georgia pieced together from 3 old farms, every inch zoned agricultural, triple verified, and nowhere near an HOA's sticky fingers. I'd spent years ducking their nonsense, made sure my land was mine and nobody else's. Or so I thought. The letter is pure comedy. Claims I'm required to cede 60% of my land for the benefit of the surrounding development. Reads like a fever dream written by a lawyer with a word-of-the-day calendar. Community integration statutes, provisional regional overlays, and the kicker, they'll let me keep my cottage and orchard in the spirit of compromise while the rest goes to public amenities, a park, a playground, an amphitheater on my dime on my land. At first I laughed, then I got angry. Called up Dana Fisher, old law school buddy, now a shark in land dispute litigation up in Atlanta. She hears me out, lets out a low whistle, then says, "That's not just wrong, Cole. That's cartoonishly wrong. Send me the letter." And maybe start documenting everything. So I did what any sane person would do. Drafted a response, short, brutal, with notarized deeds, survey zoning records attached. Sent it certified, emailed it, faxed it. Then I drove down to the HOA mailbox and dropped off a copy myself just for fun. I thought that'd be the end of it. 5 days later, I'm planting a peach sapling along the eastern fence when a black SUV pulls up like they own the place. Out steps a woman in a beige pantsuit, sunglasses that probably cost more than my chainsaw, flanked by 2 men in HOA polos. She introduces herself as Karen Del Wayne, president of High Ridge Valley HOA. The way she says president, you'd think she expected me to salute. She tells me, "We hoped you'd be more cooperative." I wipe my hands, look her in the eye and say, "Lady, I don't know what kind of fantasy world you're living in, but I don't answer to you. This is private land, not HOA, never has been." Her jaw tightens. One of the Polo twins pulls out a map covered in red scribbles, claims my land intersects with infrastructure growth zones. I rip it in half and tell him I don't care what their coloring book says. Karen leans in, threatens to escalate with the county. Good, I say, because my driveway cameras just caught you threatening me. They leave. But something in her eyes says this isn't over, and it isn't. 10 days later, I come back from town and there's a construction crew on the far end of my land. 4 trucks, 2 excavators, a trailer, and a big yellow HOA banner, future site of Community Welcome Center. The guy in charge hands me paperwork, looks official, but it's a joke. County clerk's signature lifted from an old sewer permit notary stamp from before I even bought the parcel. It's amateur hour forgery. I film everything, tell them they're trespassing, and within minutes the crew packs up grumbling. But now my blood's up. I call Victor Santiago, forensic document analyst. Within 48 hours he comes back forged. Next I bring in Lucy Grant, drone specialist and surveyor, to scan the entire property. We map every disturbance, every illegal structure, and compare it to the GIS property lines, evidence piling up. I keep a logbook, real physical, court ready. Every intrusion, every conversation, every sign time-stamped, notarized, and paired with photos. Then I file a preliminary report with the county just to put them on notice. And for good measure, I send a certified cease and desist to Karen's office with a still from my driveway camera, her standing there bold as brass on my side of the fence. Next morning, I find 3 new signs at the edge of my orchard, future site Inspiration Park, serving all residents of High Ridge Valley. HOA logo staked deep in my dirt. I don't rip them out. I take pictures, tag them, and leave them. Those signs are about to cost them a fortune. A couple months go by. Then it gets wild. I wake up to orchestral music blaring through the trees. Turns out Karen's thrown herself a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the High Ridge Valley Community Complex. Folding chairs, balloons, solar lights, and my pump shed dressed up as the HOA administration office. I walk right up to the stage, envelope in hand, and interrupt the show. I hand out legal notices, affidavits, evidence, everything. The crowd starts whispering. Someone asks, "Wait, is this not their land?" And Karen's smile turns to stone. Reporters start calling. News vans show up. The HOA goes into full spin mode, but it's like mopping an oil spill with a napkin. Then David Creel, a former zoning officer turned private investigator, calls. He's found the smoking gun, the county permit for the construction signed off by Melvin Drake, Karen's cousin, using stamps from a closed property file. It's all traceable, collusion right there on paper. That same week, a former HOA treasurer, Ray, walks onto my land with a shoebox full of receipts, payment records showing HOA money funneled into the construction, some of it going straight to companies tied to Karen's husband. That's the nail in the coffin. Dana, my attorney, can barely contain her glee. Cole, this isn't just a civil win. This is a textbook case of HOA corruption. The county panics. Georgia Bureau of Investigation shows up at the HOA office. Karen goes silent. News explodes. The judge grants my injunction. No one can use the buildings. No events. Nothing. The defense cracks. Martinez, the grading contractor, flips for immunity, gives us photos, change orders, and a Sharpie Ed map with my orchard labeled as public space. Her own people are abandoning ship. And then it's trial time. Federal court. The prosecution opens strong wire fraud, trespass, document forgery conspiracy. The whistleblower testifies about duplicate parcel IDs, drone maps, emails, board meeting logs, everything. The jury is wide-eyed. Karen tries to blame consultants, blames the county, blames the contractors. Nobody's buying it. Dana's got a surprise witness, Dan Wilcox, the main contractor, who admits Karen personally gave him a USB drive with doctored boundary files. Karen loses it in open court. Stands up, starts shouting. The judge calls for order. News cameras catch her meltdown. 3 days in, her team pleads out a partial confession, but the judge isn't done. Rules in my favor, $10 million in damages, every illegal building transferred to my ownership. Karen found personally liable for fraud, misrepresentation, and malicious intent. You'd think it'd end there. But 3 weeks after the verdict, I walk through the empty community center, now mine. HOA signs scraped off the windows, banners gone, rooms echoing with the sound of my own boots. I turn the old boardroom into a gallery of aerial photographs, each labeled with the evidence that brought their whole scam crashing down. The local judge, congressman, and even a couple of former HOA members show up for the grand opening. A guy shakes my hand and says, "This place feels honest now." And you know what? That means more than the money ever could. Karen gets 12 years without parole. Her cronies take plea deals. The county clerk goes down too. Every morning I walk past what used to be their pride and joy and think all this because they thought a piece of paper could beat the truth. I guess that's the real lesson, right? You stand your ground, you document everything. You never let arrogance steal what's yours. Power will always try to push past your fence, but sometimes, just sometimes, the little guy wins. And now here's the part I want you to chew on. Where's the line between community and control? When does shared space become theft? And who really gets to decide? Drop your take in the comments. Ever had your land, your rights, your voice steamrolled by someone who thought a badge or a title gave them power? Tell your story. I read them all. And hey, let's keep that wild streak alive.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.